I think this needs an upgrade. So, just after I bought my first lathe, my current lathe, I've only had one lathe, I turned this mallet. Now this is out of an old piece of jarrah, it was very brittle, and after the first few hits, it started falling apart. So I wrapped it in tape and it served me well over the last 12 months, but it's getting some big holes in it now. I think this is mainly because I turned it as one piece, so it's the side grain that I'm using to hit stuff with, and it's not all that strong. End grain is much better. So today, I think it's time to upgrade this bad boy. Almost looks like Thor's hammer. So I got a piece of jarrah here that we're gonna turn as the head of the new mallet, and we're gonna have the end grains as the whacking part. I've then got this bit of sheoak that we're gonna turn into the handle. Now I've been watching a few different videos on this, and I think I really like the look of a through tenon. Basically, by the time this is finished, the handle is gonna lodge through the hammerhead like that, and it's gonna poke out the top a little bit. Or sit flush. I'm not really sure which way I'm gonna go yet. Either way, it's gonna be a through tenon. That's probably enough introduction. You're sick of hearing me talking, I know. So let's get to the project. Now, I haven't drilled all the way through because my Forstner bit's not long enough, but once I turn this on the lathe, we'll lose a bit of material, and I'm hoping the hole that we drilled will end up revealing itself on the other side. Alright, so the head of the mallet is complete. Now I have done both ends differently, and I'm sure you're wondering why. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I'll tell you anyway. So this side here is concave, this side's convex. At least I think that's right. So basically this one has a slight dip in it here, whereas this side has a slight raise. And there is a reason for that. This side of the mallet will be used for hitting chisels mainly. So that groove there is going to assist the hammer so that when you're hitting the chisel down, it doesn't slip off the end. Well, it's not going to guarantee that, but it's going to assist in that. Whereas this side, with the bit of the raise on it, is going to be used for a bit finer woodwork, such as knocking dovetails together. Having a raise in the middle will ensure that the edges of the mallet don't damage the wood that I'm putting together. Just a slight tap in the center for a bit of pressure to knock joints together. All right, that's enough on the head of the mallet. Let's get to this handle, eh? Right, so my camera died. This is where we're at. We've cut the tenon at the top to go through the mallet head. Now let's turn this handle. Didn't summon any lightning. Check this out. I'm so happy with how this has come out. We've got the through tenon at the top there, as we discussed. The jarrah for the head here, which is really quite hard. We've got the convex side, the concave side, which I explained earlier. Then this beautiful piece of sheoak as the handle. Now, I didn't really have a design in mind for this one when it came to the bottom, so I sort of just did a bit of a lip here, and that's so when you swing the hammer back, if your grip's not that good, you're not gonna lose it. It's gonna lock in there. I also didn't use a chuck while I was turning this. I just did it between centers, so I actually left this little detail on the end, which is where the live tailstock locks in. Just thought it was pretty cool. Plus, in the future, if I do need to put this back on the lathe for any reason at all, I can use that to chuck it straight back on. So you would have saw before I put the head on, I actually put it back on the lathe to put some finish on the top of the tenon. Now, I used pressure to hold this on because I didn't want to mark the top of the tenon there. So with the tailstock locked in place and a piece of flat wood in the chuck, I was able to apply enough pressure to get the spin on the lathe to put the finish on the top here. I won't be hitting anything just yet with this. I'm going to give it 24 hours for that Gorilla Glue to set inside, and then we can hit some stuff. So guys, thanks for checking out this episode. I had a lot of fun with this and I hope you learned something. This was done in a couple of hours, so if you guys want to give this a crack, jump in and go for it. The only thing I will advise if you're doing this at home is if you drill the hole through the head of the hammer before you put it on the lathe, please be careful. That hole poses a real danger, especially when you're sanding. If you get your finger caught in there while it's spinning on the lathe, you're not going to have a good time. So be careful guys, make sure you follow the right safety precautions and always be wary when you use a machinery. If you do attempt this after watching my video, make sure you tag me in your video so that I can check them out. As always guys, check out our social medias, J&D Creations 18 on Facebook and Instagram. We've got the Patreon that we've spoken about. You can find links to everything down in the description below, and we will see you next week.